Hello and welcome to this TDW Tech Byte. In this recording, I want to speak about a recent investigation report that was published by the Privacy Commissioner in Hong Kong. The report looked at the fallout from a data breach. Now, privacy professionals can be sad individuals because they look at these investigation reports as momentous occasions. They are the spilled milk stories where we can glean insights into what the attitude is of the Privacy Commissioner to common failings that can arise in business. This instance is no exception to this rule. And what I want to start with is, yes, to explain what happened, but also to put things in a context that you can relate to as a business owner. The data breach occurred to the Hong Kong business of an international company. Now, sometimes when you think of an international company, you think of a large organization with significant resources to deploy. Oftentimes, though, in regional or local offices of an international company, the resources are more scarce. And in those circumstances, information security, even though it is attended to, may not be attended to with the highest degree of importance. In this particular instance, there was a set of information management regulations that was published by the head office, and as people joined the local company in Hong Kong, employees were recommended to read. But there was no real process behind that. And what happened was a hacker, an intruder, managed to get access to the email system through acquiring the password for an email account. That particular password was used on multiple email accounts, so the intruder was able to gain control of those email accounts. And it set a forwarding function where any emails received to those email addresses were forwarded to two email addresses that were under the control of the hacker. So you can see where the risks arose in this particular circumstance. That pattern continued for 4 months, which is not unusual. Once a hacker is on the inside of your information system, they can sit there and watch what happens and wait for the occasion when they may launch a phishing attack or other form of breach. In this instance, there were over 1,600 emails were forwarded, and some of those emails contained personal data such as credit card data, for instance. The data breach was noticed and observed by an alert employee who received a delivery failure report that reported internally to management. Once the data breach was noticed and observed, the affected email accounts were immediately closed down and passwords were changed across the operation. Then there was a notification that was made to the Privacy Commissioner in Hong Kong and to the data subjects, as well as a public announcement. This occurred within 2.5 weeks of noticing or detecting the breach in question. Now, in Hong Kong, there isn't a statutory obligation to make a data breach notification. However, it is recommended best practice, and it's a good example of corporate culture that here the data breach notification was, in the first instance, made, but also reasonably promptly made, albeit maybe not to GDPR standards, but that doesn't apply in Hong Kong. Following on from that, as you would expect, the company in question looked at its information security arrangements and looked to improve and to upgrade them. In the course of exchange with the Privacy Commissioner, as the Privacy Commissioner made inquiries and requested more information and insight in respect of information security matters, the company engaged a consultant to come in and as a technical expert and to make recommendations. And certain things were noticed. Firstly, there wasn't a policy in respect of closing and making redundant the email accounts of departed employees. Now, this is particularly important because if an intruder gains control over the email account of a departed employee, That is not the kind of email account that others active in the organization are going to be interacting with. So it allows an intruder to be a silent observer in many instances. Also, there was poor password management control. Many accounts had the same password, and that password was the default password that was given to the email account holder on setup of the email. So there was no regular system for changing passwords, nor was there any requirement that the password should be complex and have a variety of characteristics that would make it difficult for a hacker to intrude or to acquire, be it through a brute force attack or similar. These were things that the company responded to and improved upon, but they were also the kinds of issues that were highlighted as flaws by the Privacy Commissioner. So the Privacy Commissioner issued an enforcement notice. That's a notice that is given by the regulator here that requires the data user, that's the term used in Hong Kong for a data controller, to take mandatory steps to correct deficiencies that were identified. And I'm sure that the company in question is progressing through complying with the provisions of that enforcement notice. They are already doing things such as moving the email system to a cloud-based service so that there is stronger and dedicated information security focus upon the email service, and making sure that the information management regulations were updated and that people needed to sign off on having read and understood them. They also introduced regular training protocols given by external third parties. The Privacy Commissioner also made other recommendations. These were non-binding, but they're a good insight in respect of policy measures that the Privacy Commissioner believes are important. These recommendations included things like introducing a privacy management program, appointing a data protection officer, having an email security policy, and introducing and cultivating a privacy-friendly business culture and environment. All good points to make. So if you're listening to this recording and you're wondering, what is it I should take from this? Well, here are a couple of points that may resonate with you. Firstly, the instance that occurred here was in relation to what was essentially a medium-sized business operation, albeit a medium-sized operation in the context of a larger international company. Many similar businesses are in a similar situation. And the danger here is that information security, you might have an approach to it where you try to do the best you can, but frequently in respect of information security nowadays, good is simply not good enough. A data breach or the attack that might lead to a data breach is almost inevitable in the environment that we live nowadays. Therefore, take from this that there are things you should do, and they're not necessarily expensive or resource-heavy things to do, that will bring information security compliance to a higher standard in your organization. So as a medium-sized organization, keep in mind that prevention is better than the pain that cure sometimes brings. In this situation, things like training by people who are experts in the area and can deliver training, the development of good policies and procedures, these are things that you can introduce and implement now. These are the kinds of things that can result in good password management practices, good training practices in respect of keeping people alive and alert to trends in cybersecurity, and also ongoing repetition of good practices as people come into the organization and sometimes also as people leave the organization. These are the kinds of things that we at Tanner DeWitt are here to be able to help you with. Thank you for your attention.